Kabuki is a historical Japanese performance art style. It's known for its very strange and very elaborate makeup and its avant-garde style. This type of performance art allows the artist to express himself through music and movement, and this video game does none of that. Today's review is on Kabuki Quantum Fighter. Launch title. Kabuki Quantum Fighter was released back in 1991 in the US. It's published by HAL Labs, which you may know most famously for their series like Kirby and Super Smash Bros.
When it comes to storyline, this game is not exactly breaking new grounds. The world's computers have been taken over by an unknown entity, and they've been working their way into the international defense system. This would grant them access to the world's nuclear cache, which could destroy all of humanity. This is where you come in. You are Scott O'Connor, a combat-trained colonel. You allow scientists to convert your mind into binary code in order to be able to be sent through the computer to fight your way to the hackers and stop them before it's too late.
For being a classic NES game, this has a lot of far-fetched ideas. I mean, getting your brain transferred to a binary code so you can go through computers and stop some hackers, that's pretty wild. But on the upside, I will say that them taking this risk allows them to create a crazy world in order for you to be able to play through.
Kabuki is a platformer, and like all of these games, B attacks and A jumps. What might catch you off guard is the way you actually attack. You don't punch and you don't kick. Surprisingly, the main character uses his hair to kill bad guys. Can you imagine? Isn't he afraid of tangles? This isn't the only thing that's unique though. Along with the strange hair attack, there are other strange things in this game. The background is full of really dark and morbid things. Look, here's an example. Look at what's throbbing in the background. Don't those look like hearts? Or what about here? Those are uvulas. Yeah, uvulas. You know, the little dangly thing in the back of your throat. Ugh, gross.
When we're talking about all the graphics, yeah, the backgrounds are gross, but so are the bad guys. I mean, there's decapitated heads with their brains all exposed, there's other ones that look like their brains are exploding as they're shooting at you, and what about those dogs that look paralyzed that are dragging their hind legs and then use canes to attack you? Whatever these guys were thinking when they came up with these morbid ideas, I don't even want to know. To be honest, this game gives me the willies. Ugh.
Kabuki is a really tough game when you first go through it. It's a bit of a bummer that they only give you 3 continues, because that means you end up having to start all over again if you aren't careful. And believe me, it can be a real pain when you're on a roll and suddenly you see that dreaded game over sign and you're forced to start from the beginning. But what makes it worthwhile is as you play each level over again, you get better at it and the difficulty becomes manageable. You can actually see how much better you're getting at the game. On the upside, there's actually a variety when it comes to level styles. There are some that make you concentrate on your platforming skill and make you climb up instead of going left to right. It's just too bad the controls aren't exactly as tight as they should be. There are these platforms that look like ice to me, and they seem normal when you land on them, and you'd expect them to have slipperier controls, but how can I explain this?
When the character lands on the ice block, he stays perfectly still, but as soon as you push the side button, he's going to start moving, and it doesn't matter if you hold it, lightly tap it, or even press in the other direction, he's going to keep going until he falls off that platform.
Now I know it doesn't sound so bad, but when you have a bad guy coming towards you and you jump and try to get past him, you don't gain any speed, even in the air, and you have no control, so of course you end up taking a hit, and that can really be a pain. You'd better hope you're on your A game with your accuracy, because I found these levels to be way harder than any of the straightforward levels. Now every few levels you end up fighting a boss, and once you beat them, your character gets a new projectile weapon to use. It really helps to make you feel like you're getting stronger as the game goes on.
By the end of the game, the scientists have discovered that the hack is actually coming from a decommissioned satellite up in space, so they send you up there to fight your way through and break that connection. So this looks like the end of the game. Let's kick some ass! So what are my final thoughts on this game? You know, that's a tough one. I was ready to give it a really bad review. I mean, 3 continues? That's just not justifiable. you can have unlimited continues in the game. And the controls are almost perfect, which is almost good enough. But really, it becomes a real hassle when you're doing the platforming stages and you're on ice blocks and you can't really control what your character does. But if you stick through it, you'll realize that there is a gem hidden inside of this game. It's too bad that they didn't really make it a huge franchise by the end of it, because I thought it was a really unique idea. And the fact that they used a computer code in order to be able to make up the world that they want gave them unlimited possibilities to make this game awesome. Yeah, it has a few downsides, but it has many more upsides. If you can get your hands on it, you should give it a shot, and stick through the rough parts. Believe me, it's a really fun game to play. Until next time.